Finish this battle! Feel the thunder!
There is no greater weapon.
I challenge you!
Now you
I fight in the name of justice!
Another has fallen to my fear!
From my fear!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another I'm tired of the hate, and this time we're talking about the SHU Kingdom. Why? Because I believe, in my opinion, SHU gets the most hate out of all the other kingdoms. Alright, I'm going off the dome here, no script, we're just going to be ad-libbing and talking about what I see in the community and why I think it's not necessary, because it's just, I think it's overdone, it's overplayed, and it kind of just feels like some people do it just to like prove a point. Like, well,
I'm different. I don't like SHU.
because they're popular and they're the good guys, but you know, technically in history, that, you know, all that stuff. So I think with the Kingdom of SHU, and talking about it in an open discussion format, with the Kingdom of SHU, right, the good guys or whatever, the protagonist of the story, it was written that way for whatever reason. It's leading to people really hating SHU and everything around, like, involved with SHU, which I don't think is necessary. It's just too much. Like, why are we hating these characters so much? Because they're perceived as the good guys in the book, you know? I've read the novel. I think it shines light on all the characters. By the end of it, SHU ends up losing. So I don't understand how SHU is portrayed as the good guys when every character has their time to shine. I mean, characters that in Dynasty Warriors, for example, like SHU, he's getting more time to shine than he did in the book, but nobody cares about that. Right? Because he's part of Wei. And I'm not saying Wei or Wu don't have their fair share of haters, they do, for whatever reason, but for SHU, they are at the top. Like, if we did a thing, if I did a poll, which kingdom people like the most, SHU would be at the bottom, probably. They would most likely be at the bottom, or they would receive the most hateful, spiteful kind of comments, which I don't think is necessary. I've seen my fair share of spiteful comments for the SHU Kingdom, and I think that people are having a hard time compartmentalizing the history of the characters and the actual characters in Dynasty Warriors. None of the characters in Dynasty Warriors, at least the way I see it, represent any of them in history. None of them. They're nothing like they were in history, because history was different. They're different people, and no one really knows how they were. I mean, even the game itself only takes maybe 5% of the actual history into the game. And when I say 5%, I'm just talking about the names of the characters, names of the battles, potentially, because even they got those, you know, mixed up and everything in some of the earlier games, and then the order of events that the three kingdoms have, roughly, right? That's the 5% they're bringing from history. Everything else is a complete fabrication. It is a complete fabrication. I mean, you got Hua Xiong dying to Guan Yu, but that didn't happen for real. Who killed him? Sun Jian killed him. But when we're looking at the Kingdom of SHU, we have these characters that are given to us. Maybe the spearhead of it, of all, Zhao Yun, might be a catalyst to this, because he's always being pushed into our faces of being the poster boy, or you know, the Dynasty Warrior, whatever it may be, and that may lead to people being like, him again, you know, really? Like, Dynasty Warriors Origins is on the horizon. He's obviously not going to be on the cover because it's about this new guy, but Dynasty Warriors 10 or 11 or whatever is next after Origins, if Zhao Yun is on the cover, I guarantee you someone's going to say something about it. No. Multiple. It's going to be multiple people saying something about it, because they have this hatred for seeing him too much. Which I understand. If you have a favorite character, you have a character that you like a little more, whatever it may be, you want to see them on the cover, which is fine. I understand that, but it's just a cover. I mean, we're not there to look at the covers. I mean, how many people buy the hard copy games anymore anyway, right? We're buying digital games. We don't care about the cover. We're there to buy the digital game and jump in. For me personally, I think SHU is just like the other kingdoms. They have their flaws. They have their characters that stand out, that get pushed. They have their characters that maybe aren't as good as they seem. But same thing with Wu. I mean, they took a lot of people who were not the greatest of people and made them into decent characters. Characters that we can relate to, characters that we can enjoy. And that's the same thing with SHU. I love the characters from SHU. I think they're great. And they have a lot of good characters that are a staple to the Dynasty Warriors series, but they get this hatred because of this protagonist push. Along with the fact that Kingdom of SHU also preaches benevolence and virtue
For the people.
and because they do, and because they're the protagonists or they're the people up in front, they're also going to get the most scrutiny. When someone, or in this case the whole kingdom, is preaching the benevolence, or that there's utmost good people, that's going to lead people to digging the most, you know. And that can be seen in like just regular life, like a celebrity or somebody of power is like, well, I'm the, you know, greatest and I've never done anything wrong, people are going to search for things to find something wrong with them. And that's another thing I think brings a lot of hatred towards the SHU Kingdom, because you got Jiang Wei, you got Liu Bei, Ma Chao, you know, even like, you know, Guan Yu and Zheng Fei. they have these moments where they, name of justice,
I fight in the name of justice.
or benevolence, or in the name of virtue,
Those who stand in the way of virtue shall fail.
and all this other stuff, but some of their track records for these characters don't fall in line with what they're saying. But again, going back to the beginning of talking about the fictionalization of the characters and the story, as long as you can compartmentalize and put that away and not really care as much, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I get it, Ma Chao was this different person in history, war crimes, I get it, very bad. But in the games, he's all about justice and the pillar of justice and doing the right thing and all that. And there's the scrutiny, right? There's the argument. I understand that. Same thing with Liu Bei, virtue, benevolent, the people. And then he turns on his own family, and he's a bit hypocritical, and he turns on a lot of people, I think, actually. He betrays quite a bit of people. Of course, Jiang Wei, getting his personality changed, going to Benevolence Boot Camp during Dynasty Warriors 6. That's why he got removed. And then coming back as the Benevolent Master, I think put the nail in the coffin for people disliking SHU, along with all the characters that were added with Jiang Wei, because with his era, it's a lot of characters that people don't necessarily like. And I can definitely understand with that on top of everything else, why SHU would be disliked so much. But most of us would agree that we want Dynasty Warriors to continue for as long as it can. Like the day they say, hey, we're hanging up the gloves on Dynasty Warriors, that's going to be a sad day. Until I take over. But Dynasty Warriors fans, for people that are still thriving in the community, for us that have been around for 20 years, 20 plus years, still playing the game, still enjoying it, still going back to play some of the older games for nostalgia, whatever it may be, we want to have the game continue. In order to do that, SHU is going to continue to be part of the game, and they also have the possibility of being the spotlight of a game. That's just the way it is, and I think that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Fortunately for the Dynasty Warriors community, we're much smaller than, most. We're not like the Call of Duty community, Fortnite. I mean, those are huge fan bases, and I'm sure you guys have heard the stories of how bad it can get over there. Yes, we have our fair share of tiny bits of toxicity and all that, but I think if anything, the toxicity would grow out of, or it would start with the Kingdom of SHU. Right? Maybe the other kingdoms as well, because everybody fights over who's the best kingdom and all that. But for the dislike for SHU, the anti-mainstream, the contrarianism that people have towards the SHU Kingdom, just because they are like popular, or they're supposed to be like, when I read the novel, I didn't see them as the protagonist. I just kind of read the book and I was like, okay, cool. And, I read through it. There's some things that I've been through with the games. I was like, that happened, nice, that's pretty cool. Oh, this happened. Oh, I learned more about Peng De. I didn't know he did all that shit. Oh, Chu is actually a badass monster. Oh my God, Ma Chao almost got killed by this guy. That's crazy. That was my discovery with the novel. It was never like, oh, it's been 4 chapters and we're still talking about SHU, right? So I think it's a little misconstrued. Zhuge Liang gets a lot of flack for not being the greatest strategist from the time, when he technically is, right? He is number 1. He should be number 1. Everybody knows that, but it's hard to accept that because it's SHU. Maybe we don't like a character. Fine. You don't like a character, you don't like a character. I don't like characters. Zhuge Dan's not a favorite of mine. Guo Huai, Han Dong. If I had control, I would switch up all those characters. Maybe not Zhuge Dan. I think Zhuge Dan's a good character. I just don't like him. Zhang Hui. I don't like Zhang Hui. A lot of people like Zhang Hui. I mean, even with his flying sword moveset, I could care less about Zhang Hui. Not a character that I enjoy. But I can respect their placement in the story. I'm not gonna have a visceral hatred for the character. You know what I mean? Like I'm chilling. I have the members game that I built for my channel. And if I get those characters who are, a little amped up based on the mechanic in the game, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I got Zhang Hui who's all powerful and stuff. No, I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna enjoy them. They have their moments in the games, and I can respect that. Same thing with the SHU Kingdom. SHU Kingdom is absolutely essential for the story and the games, and the characters are great. They don't have the best character. Now, every character is fleshed out beautifully, right? But I think the main staples for the SHU Kingdom are great characters, and I think that people just get a little misconstrued on what the game really is about, or maybe they just don't want to think about it, or they just push it out and they stick to their stubborn opinion about whatever they want. Zhao Yun's not the greatest. Guan Yu wasn't that good. Zhang Fei was drunk and, all that stuff. Zhuge Liang wasn't the greatest strategist. Liu Bei was a hypocrite. All that stuff. I get it. I understand where you guys are coming from. Ma Chao wasn't the greatest, and he did, war crimes, all that stuff, and he fights in the name of justice. Maybe the people made that so they can rewrite it. I don't know. I don't know why they gave him that. That's his tagline. It's one of the most iconic ones, but it's very ironic. We get it. I understand. But in the game, separating ourselves from the history and what they actually did, these characters aren't that bad. Ma Chao's a great character. He's one of my favorites. I love him. But for the most part, when it comes to the Kingdom of SHU, all these characters have their flaws, 100%, but, it's a game. It's a video game. It's a fantasy game series that we all enjoy. For some reason, we have our reasons for enjoying it. And that's pretty much all I have for the video, guys. Anyway, that's a short, sweet version of just talking about SHU. I've seen it a lot. I wanted to talk about it, just like with the Zhang Fei thing. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the little discussion. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. If you don't like SHU, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion. I'm never too high and mighty to be like, oh, you can't have that opinion. Like, if I see an opinion on one of my videos that I disagree with, then we'll talk, we'll conversate. I'm not gonna tear you down and be like, how dare you? You know, guys, Zhao Yun has the best. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for the video. If you enjoyed it, definitely appreciate a like and subscribe. Helps out the channel a ton, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.